Good evening. I would like to extend a warm welcome on behalf of the Milton Public Schools. For those who do not know me, I am Janet Sheehan, Interim Superintendent of Schools. We have a dynamic team of educators who will be presenting this evening, and I would like to assure you that we have a faculty of experts in early childhood education who are committed to guiding your children through their kindergarten learning experiences. A district strategic plan, which can be found on our website, guides us in achieving goals for personalized learning, safe and supportive schools, and equity in learning. These intersect to achieve our ultimate goal of academic excellence for all students. Our work with your kindergartners Is it recording now?
Yes.
Okay, was it recorded before?
Yes.
Okay. I apologize for the interruption, but I had just heard another message. Okay. So our work in with your kindergartners is also guided by the Massachusetts curriculum frameworks that set standards for what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. Of course, we do recognize that children meet their developmental milestones at different times. So when we meet them where they are, we actually do meet them where they are and support them in developing their readiness skills. We also understand that the research tells us how important play is in readiness. And there you can find many quotes out there about the link between play and learning. Quotes like, "Play is our brain's favorite way of learning. Play gives children a chance to practice what they are learning. It is never time wasted, and it is the most natural form of expression, not a luxury, but a necessity." Of course, there will be a little work in kindergarten, perhaps a lot of work, but please know that there will be lots of play and lots of fun for your child. And please know that we're here for you. If you have any questions, we're here as your child continues on a journey of work, play, and learning. Next slide, please. So we have here listed the Milton Public Schools leadership and support staff, but I can assure you that we have many, many more Milton Public School educators who are available to support our teachers and students and support the learning experiences that take place in our classrooms. But these are members of the team who are here to present to you this evening. Next slide. This is our vision statement that can be found in our district strategic plan. You can see the illustration up in the corner of the three intersecting pillars, as we call them, in our strategic plan. And again, those are personalized learning, safe and supportive schools, and equity in learning. All intersect for the purpose of providing academic excellence for all of our Milton students. I won't read the vision statement to you, but that is something that has been revised along with our strategic plan, and we are very pleased to be implementing that plan in its first year and working towards achieving the goals of the plan. Next, please. So in the Milton Public Schools, we have grades pre-K through 12, approximately 4,500 students. We have 4 outstanding elementary schools: the Collycott, Cunningham, Glover, and Tucker, the Pierce Middle School, Milton High School. Many of our parents, of course, are familiar with our preschool program. And then we have before and after school programs that we refer to as our community schools. So I think at this time, I'm going to hand things over to Collycott Principal Holly Concannon.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Chan. Again, my name is Holly Concannon, and I am one of the 4 principals in Milton. And it is my pleasure, on behalf of all of the principals, to talk to you a little bit about kindergarten. What we present tonight is consistent among all 4 schools, and you can expect consistent curriculum, expectations, and commitment to learning in all 4 schools. You should know that kindergarten is responsive to children's individual differences. It is intellectually engaging and challenging, and it is absolutely built upon the partnerships between home and school. Kindergarten is a community of learners where students value and respect one another during learn and play. All schools offer a full day kindergarten. This is different than in years past when kindergarten was a half day program. In all 4 elementary schools, kindergarten is offered for the full day. It consists of 1 full-time teaching staff and a full-time educational assistant. Again, this is different than in years past when educational assistants were part-time. We have advocated to support the classroom teacher with a full-time aide because we know 5-year-olds sometimes benefit from a little extra support. The educational assistant is with the class to support arrival, dismissal, lunch and recess, and all learning opportunities. Another change in the past few years is that our full day kindergarten program is tuition free. We are very lucky to be able to offer this opportunity for all students in Milton at no cost. And throughout the day, full day kindergarten offers multiple opportunities to reinforce academic and social skills. It's a time to foster independence, and it's a time to encourage creativity. Full day kindergarten is a 1-year program. It is our expectation that when children enroll, they spend 1 year in kindergarten before moving on to 1st grade. Children who go to kindergarten in the fall will move on to grade 1 for the 2024-2025 school year. You should know that it is our responsibility to meet the needs of your child when they enter school, and we will provide whatever services are needed to help each child reach full potential. Student readiness. I remember not too long ago when my children, when my first was coming into kindergarten, and I bought myself this nice little book at Barnes & Noble about how to prepare my child for kindergarten. Your child is prepared for kindergarten. Don't buy the book. So I just want you all to know we are ready for your children, no matter where they are. And according to the National Association for the Education of Young Children, readiness must be flexibly and broadly defined. We know that young children develop in many different ways and at different times. The growth you'll see in their kindergarten year is very impressive. All areas of children's developmental and learning must be included in the definition of readiness. And the concept of readiness includes us being ready for your children. Our schools are ready for your child. Also, you should know that it is our expectation that kindergarten should be based on chronological age. In Milton, it is expected that all kindergarten children are 5 years old by August 31st, 2023. So this is not a mastery of skills expectation. This is an age expectation. A school is ready if the curriculum builds on prior learning. We know that some students will come in knowing their letters. Some kids will come in knowing no letters. We're ready for both of those situations. Every school in the district will take into account the individual differences in language, in culture, and of course, prior experience. Teachers must know how to teach young children, and we have the resources to do so. Please know your children are ready, and we are ready for them. We promise to meet your children where they are. It is my pleasure to introduce Assistant Principal and Curriculum Coordinator from the Glover School, Melissa Craven, who will talk to you a little bit about the curriculum and what it's like day to day in kindergarten. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Principal Concannon. So like Principal Concannon said, I am Melissa Craven. I am the Assistant Principal and Curriculum Coordinator here at the Glover Elementary School. All 4 elementary schools have they all have an assistant principal that you can absolutely reach out to if you have any further questions. So I get to do the fun slides of kind of showing you a glimpse of our curriculum, and then the really fun stuff of what a day in kindergarten actually looks like. So we do have some really wonderful curriculum here in the Milton Public Schools, some of which are in their first year of implementation. Next slide, please. So our literacy curriculum is our Reach for Reading program. And the wonderful thing about the Reach for Reading program is it already has science and history embedded in every unit. Each unit starts with a big question, and throughout the next few weeks, the class, they will investigate that big question. So as you can see here, each unit, they really focus on those science and social studies topics. We have community, and it's a great way for kids, especially at the beginning of the year, to really get to know each other and start building that classroom community that is so critical in every child's learning. Next slide, please. Our new curriculum for math is our Bridges in Mathematics. And just like in our literacy program, our kindergarten teachers are so wonderful at making sure that they incorporate whole group learning, small group learning, partner working, independent work. Our Bridges in Mathematics also offers so many hands-on manipulatives and games and opportunities where the kids really get to interact with each other. And not only are they learning, but they're also learning other skills like turn taking and what it means just to be a student. And this curriculum, we are really loving. The kindergarten team is doing a fabulous job at implementing and sharing strategies across the district. Next slide, please. We also have another new curriculum for social studies. It is our SAVIS curriculum. And this curriculum, again, offers features like read alouds, videos, interactive games, and music to really motivate and engage all students. We're really excited about this curriculum. Social studies was an area that we were working on to make sure that we have a strong and robust curriculum for our grades K to 5. So we're really enjoying this one, and the kids are getting, they get a lot of fun out of, the online platform that we have. So next slide, please.
Melissa, I
Yes.
just saw something in the chat that says they lost the slide view, so I'm just going to stop sharing and reshare in just a minute.
Perfect.
Sorry, everybody.
No problem. Thanks, Ms. Driscoll.
See here.
Ms. Driscoll is the fabulous assistant principal and curriculum coordinator over at Tucker Elementary School.
And I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, but 1 minute and we'll be back up. Hope. Let's see.
Some technical difficulties. We're all very used to Google Meets, so Zoom is a little bit different for us sometimes.
All right, in 1 minute, I'll get us back to where we were at.
Perfect. I think we're on FOSS.
And thank you for letting us know that you couldn't see that. Here we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Driscoll. So our science curriculum, we use FOSS for grades K through 5. This program's awesome. They have so many hands-on experiments. So not only do they get to do whole group learning, videos, stories, but then they get to actually do the experiments, which sometimes might involve observing butterflies or going outside and looking at actual nature and trees and really investigating and getting to work together collaboratively to investigate a problem. Next slide, please. So before I go into the day of the life of a kindergartner, there's one area of a curriculum that we did not have a slide for. It's our second step curriculum, and that's our social emotional curriculum. And we also now are being trained in Calm Classroom, everyone across the district. So the two are really a strong way to make sure that we're focusing on the social emotional learning as well as the academic. So the fun part, a day in the life of a kindergartner. It's really just, we are so lucky that all 4 schools have teams of outstanding kindergarten teachers and paraprofessionals in every classroom. So no matter what school you go to, you hit the lottery. They are a fantastic team. So in the morning when your student arrives, They will go to their cubby, they'll get their stuff out of their backpacks, they might have their take-home folder, they'll head over to their rug and where they'll start their morning meeting. Morning meeting typically includes lunch count, they'll check on the weather, they'll do calendar. So all of these activities that they do during their morning meeting block really focus on classroom community, turn taking, and just really getting to know each other. It's a great way for the kids to start their day. And they also have math, science embedded within their morning meetings. Literacy blocks, talking about that Reach for Reading curriculum, it includes so many different components. And again, whole group, small group, sometimes one-to-one, oftentimes independent reading as well. Then they have snack, which is definitely a preferred time of the day. With snack, they also do their morning recess. The great thing about kindergarten is they do 2 recess blocks a day. So in the morning after their first literacy block, they'll do snack and then they'll go outside, get some fresh air and run around. Next slide, please. So the specials as well, another great time of the day. The kids love this time of the day. So every single kid in kindergarten will have an art block once a week for 45 minutes, a music block once a week for 45 minutes, a PE block once a week for 45 minutes. And then for technology, they will have a technology block every other week with our tech teachers. Also 45 minutes. The tech teachers work very closely with the classroom teachers. And then library. Every student will have a library block every single week. 1 week it would be with our librarian, and the off weeks they get to still do book swap and all that fun stuff. So really exciting specials that all the kids look forward to. Typically after they'll go back from recess, finish their literacy blocks, have their special, and then they go off to their lunch and recess. And each school might be a little bit different on the actual timing of the schedule. They go to lunch, they have recess, then they'll incorporate their math block, which again incorporates whole group, small group, one-to-one, partner work, and with a ton of manipulatives in games and technology opportunities. Science, again, throughout the week, they will do a science block, a social studies block, second step, and then they also have different learning stations. And the best part of the day in kindergarten is choice time. And that typically is like the last block of the day. And this is when kids get to choose between a menu of different items: literacy and writing, art, technology, blocks, dramatic play, whole group, and kind of just what they'll find what they really love to do. And then each day, the best thing is they can choose something different. So again, I am really excited that I got to kind of give you a little sneak peek of what a day in the life of kindergarten looks like. And at this time, I am going to pass it off to Director of Pupil Services. Oh, sorry, I have one more slide, my bad. I'm sorry, you can go back, Ms. Driscoll. So yes, the learning stations, this is also another area that is embedded in the day. And this is just a menu of what you might see in those learning stations. So different tactile activities, science, STEM, engineering, dramatic play, enrichment opportunities, and technology. Next slide, please. Now I will pass it off to the Director of Pupil Services, Susan Maselli.
Thank you, Melissa. Good evening, families. Welcome to Milton Public School. The Office of Pupil Personnel Services is the group of staff that support our students with special education needs. If you have had the benefit of being in our integrated preschool, then you've already started working with staff related to your child's special ed needs. Supports and services are available for our children in kindergarten all the way up through postgraduate supports. Parents and teams are going to be working together to collaborate to determine what services kids need in kindergarten. Most of our kindergartners will be going to their neighborhood school that they're assigned to through the registration process and receiving their supports right in their neighborhood school. Some of our students receive those support either in the classroom, we sometimes call those push-in services, or in one of our learning centers, and those are often called pull-out services. Your preschool team chair, who you've been working with through the last couple of years, Jamie Shimshak, has probably already started speaking to you about kindergarten opportunities. If you haven't had that conversation, don't worry. There will be opportunity for all families to have a transition meeting this spring and plan for the next fall. If you have a youngster in our preschool who's receiving a high level of support, you may talk with your special ed team about one of our specialized programs. Presently, here's where the programs are located. Our programs for children with applied behavior analysis needs, ABA needs, kids who are on the autism spectrum are currently housed at the Collycott Elementary School. The Glover School houses our therapeutic program and our language-based program. We also have a new neurodiverse program at Glover as well. And Cunningham hosts our collaborative programs for kids who have communication and developmental and learning needs. Your special ed team will work with you if one of these specialized programs is something to consider at your team. But as I said, most kids have their supports in their neighborhood school. Next slide, please. Our lead nurse, Kim Coughlin, couldn't be with us tonight, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview about what to expect with health services. Here you can see she is providing an immunization requirements and physical exam requirements that you have entering kindergarten. There's a bullet list of requirements that your child's pediatrician will report on their physical exam, and you'll be doing that sometime this spring with your pediatrician and then providing us with that form during the registration process. You can see that you're also required to have a lead screening. You can see the doses of vaccines you're required, and you can see that you'll need to have a current physical to complete your registration. Next slide, please. It's important to remember that the mandates that come to us regarding health are mandated by the state. And you can see here that there are several things that will happen during your child's educational career. We have vision screenings in grades 1 through 5. We check kindergarten stereopsis, which is a fancy word for vision screening through your primary care physician that will happen in your checkup. You can see that kids will have a screening with the school nurse in grades K through 5 related to hearing. You can see that scoliosis screenings, you have a few years, you don't need to worry about those quite yet. The BMI or the body mass index screenings happen in grades 1, 4, 7, and 10. SBIRT is a social emotional screening tool you'll learn about when your children are in middle and high school. And if you have any concerns about any of these screening, you will receive an opt-out information via email that's available in the superintendent's weekly blog and also in the principal's weekly updates. And you'll want to be looking out for that if you have a concern regarding any of these state mandated mandates. Next screen, please. Some important health information that you want to think about as you participate in registration is making sure that you share any relevant and pertinent medical information about your child. We want to make sure that we have this information so that we can support your child. So please make sure that you've shared that information with your school nurse. You'll have an opportunity a little later tonight to learn about the registration process, which will include a screening. And at that screening, there's a great opportunity to connect with the nurse and talk about any medical concerns you have about your child. Please make sure that throughout the year, you're keeping us up to date on emergency contacts in case we need to reach you. And we would like families to be aware of our dismissal and illness policy. We want our kids to be with us in school, but if they are feeling ill or sick, you want to make sure you stay home. It's always helpful to pack an extra set of clothes, especially socks, undies, and underwear, and make sure that your child has weather appropriate gear with them every day. And please, we ask, as much as we love them, keep your kids home when they're sick so that we don't share any germs. Thank you so much. I'm going to now turn it off to our family outreach liaison, Marty O'Kenna-McKeith.
Thank you, Susan. Welcome to all on this call. As Susan said, I'm Marty O'Keefe McKenna, and I am the family outreach liaison for the district. So I'm going to start with just a quick overview of the next steps, and then we're going to go into more detail on future slides. So March is going to kick off our online registration. By April 30th, you will receive the assignment for school for your child. By mid-May through early June, we're going to be holding kindergarten screenings at each of the elementary schools. May and June, you will receive bus, and then in June, before and after school registration info. You're also going to see a shift to school-based transitional activities in June. August will be your teacher and classroom assignment at your child's assigned school. And then in September, there'll be, very early September, there'll be an orientation. So you get to visit the classroom. And also it'll be the first day of school, September 6th for kindergartners. Next slide, please. So pre-registration. So we know that a lot of you on this call have already completed the pre-registration questionnaire. Thank you very much. If you haven't had a chance to complete it, you can find the link to the pre-registration questionnaire on our website, www.miltonps.org, and we will keep that up until February 28th. So in addition to kind of helping us get numbers for planning and enrollment, this is also a great tool to help us communicate with families, to take you through the registration process and just kind of keep you up to date on all things kindergarten for the class of 2036. Next slide, please. Okay, so student registration. The next step after tonight is registration. So registration for kindergartners opens March 1st. We are going to be moving to a new online registration platform. So anyone registering prior to that will have to redo it after March 1st. So I just want to make people aware of those dates. You're going to receive an email from me at mmckenna@miltonps.org, basically taking you step by step with all the links to complete the online registration. We're going to send this out in February. So this gives you a chance to gather up the documents and just to make sure you have that so that you complete things in the deadline. A quick overview of, besides the registration form and the residency piece, is we'll need your child's original birth certificate. The registrar wanted me to let you know that we cannot accept hospital birth records. We're going to need, as Susan said, health and immunization records. And I think one thing I want to point out, for some of you, your kiddos have a birthday in the spring or in the summer. So we'll need their most recent immunization and physical exam report. However, we do ask you once, if they do have that healthy visit over the summer or during or in the spring, that you send that to us. Another piece will be the home language survey, and then an early education survey, just to kind of see where kiddos, if they have any prior preschool experience. That's all going to be part of the registration process. Kirsten, next slide, please. Okay, so we're just going to continue to outline the registration process. Again, please don't worry about holding on to this information and dates. We will send it to you. You can certainly put on your calendars. March 1st is when we open. So as I previously stated, the deadline is March 15th. And during that time frame, once between the 1st and the 15th, as you're submitting documents, the registrar is going to go through it, notify you that your registration is complete, or she will notify you what documents you will be missing. And you will need to get those documents to her by March 31st in order to be included in the first round of school assignments. So there are some folks on this call that actually have children in our preschool right now, an MPS preschool. We're asking you to not re-register your children. We're all set with that. We will ask you to reestablish residency and also provide us with an up-to-date immunization. Again, I'm going to send this all in an email to our present preschool families, and we will come to Cunningham and Tucker to gather those documents. Next slide, please. So the home language survey that I had mentioned in a previous slide. So we found that sometimes families are confused by this form and wonder why we're asking everyone to complete it as part of the registration process. So while it's important for us here at Milton Public Schools to protect the rights of students who speak languages other than English, to ensure students have access to the curriculum, it's also required by the state. The home language surveys helps us identify students who might be bilingual or multilingual, immigrants from countries where languages other than English are spoken, or are raised in families who speak languages other than English. So just depending on how you answer those questions in the survey, you may get a call from our ELL coordinator, Robert Johnson, just to ask you more questions kind of about the languages your child uses. Next slide, please. Okay, so just as a registration wrap up, I know we're talking a lot about it, but these are important dates. So kindergarten registration opens March 1st. You'll receive an email from me with step step-by-step instructions, including links to just click on tutorials and whatnot. Deadline is March 15th, and just please pay attention to those deadlines. As a public school, obviously registration is an ongoing thing throughout the year, but school assignment is based on the student enrollment and date of completed registration. So for the first round of school assignments that I said will be going out in April, only those who've completed the registration by the March 15th deadline will be included. I would now like to turn the next portion of our program over to Dr. Glenn Pavlicek to talk about school assignments. Glenn?
Thank you, Marty. So in terms of school assignments, as you know, we have the 4 elementary schools. Their starting times and ending times are a little different. Cunningham and Collycott start half an hour before Glover and Tucker. And what we try to do is we want your student, if you go on our website, you can see based on your home address, which school we would like to assign your student to. If you could switch to the next slide. There are times when we find out that the school is full. I mean, we have a very limited, as no doubt you've heard, we have space issues in our schools. We open up enough classrooms to try to fit all of our students, but sometimes we have more students at one school than another school, and we don't have extra space at that school. So there are times when people who register late might not be able to get into their quote unquote home school. But we do go through a process to try to make sure you get there. Certainly, if you have older siblings in a school, you have precedence for getting into that school. If we need people to move, we'll ask for volunteers. And if we really have to move people around at the end, we look for geographic proximity. We take people who are further away from a school and try to move them to a school they're closer to. But generally, our goal is to get everyone in that quote unquote home school that you see on the chart. You can move to the next slide, please. You're not registered for grade 1 yet, but everyone asks about it. There are 2 different programs once you get to grade 1. One is the English Innovation Pathway Program. One is the French Immersion Program. And at some point towards the spring of your kindergarten year, you'll be choosing a program for your child for first grade. We do only mention this here because first preference for the choice of programs goes to students who are with us in kindergarten. So if you had chosen to go to a private kindergarten instead of the Milton Public School kindergarten, you don't have first choice as to those programs. We register our own children first. So that's just a heads up for a year from now or so when we're starting to talk about that. So that's just to mention. Can I move on to the next one? Transportation. You may or may not want your kindergartner to ride the big yellow bus to school, but if you do, the law in Massachusetts is that students in kindergarten through grade 6 who live 2 miles or more from their school are entitled to free bus transportation. So if you're more than 2 miles from the school you're assigned to, you are entitled to free bus transportation. You'll be asked to sign up for it in the spring if you are interested. And a lot of kindergartners do ride the bus. Some parents prefer to drive them. That's your choice. If you live within 2 miles of school, or later on, for students who are above 6th grade, for instance, if you live within 2 miles of school, we will offer buses, but on a space available basis. If we have room on a bus, you could ride it, but we do charge a bus fee for people who are not entitled to a free bus. And it is $275 for the year, a cap of $550 per family if you have more than 1 child. This says it's subject to change for the 23-24 year. We do not believe it is going to change for the 23-24 year. So again, that information will be sent out later on in the spring. And the one piece here we do recommend and require actually is that if your child rides the bus, kindergarten students must be met by an adult at the bus stop. We tell our drivers, do not let kindergarten students off at a bus stop unaccompanied. They will actually bring them back to their school if there's no one there. So at this point, I'll swing it back over to Marty O'Keefe McKenna and to talk about our family liaison.
Thank you, Dr. Pavlicek. So as a family outreach liaison, I want you to know that Milton Public Schools values a very strong homeschool partnership. We know and appreciate that you are experts and your child's first teacher. And because of that, it's important that we stay in touch and keep the lines of communication open, both individually, classroom, school, and district level. So some of the ways we do that on the district level are through our website, including areas that you can see listed to the left of on your slide. Another way we foster that important homeschool connection is at the school and teacher level through our parent portal. And this way you can communicate with your child's teacher, you can have access to school and classroom information, and you can also find classroom and beyond resources. So what's going to happen in August, you will receive information on how to set up your account by our Director of Educational Technology. Next slide, please. Right now, you are experiencing everything kindergarten on a district level. You've pre-registered through our district form. You'll complete the registration at the district level. In April, those of you who have completed your registration in full by March 15th, I had to get that little deadline plug in, will receive your child's school assignment. And then you're going to see a shift from the district level to your the individual school your child's been assigned to. So you're still going to receive all that great information at the district level about what's going on in the district, but you're also going to begin to receive communication from your child's school principal, including a newsletter welcoming you and letting you know about any activities and events that they'll be hosting to help support you and your child during the transition to kindergarten. So screening is going to take place at individual schools, and this is a great opportunity for you and your child to come to the school, and also where they're going to receive their official, famous, I'm going to kindergarten t-shirt. So your classroom teacher your classroom and teacher assignment, excuse me, will be sent out in late August. So if you can think it as April is just the school assignment, and then in late August, it's a specific which classroom and who your child's teacher will be. Next slide, please, Kirsten. All right, transitional activities. So we're holding this information session virtually tonight because we know it can be really tough to get out of the house at 6:30 with young kids. But we also know that sending your little one off to kindergarten can be a big step for you and for your little one. So we want to be sure that you and your child feel welcome and have ample in-person opportunities to visit their school and also meet other incoming kindergartners. So as I stated, screening will take place in the individual schools. Other opportunities might include school tours in June, summertime stories where they can wear their I'm going to kindergarten t-shirt and meet other kiddos, popsicle parties. The fall begins with an orientation where kiddos get to go with their grown-up and meet the teacher, see the classroom. And then in addition to that, lots of school-wide activities happen in the fall and beyond. That's open houses, family coffees. We're going to have caregiver teacher conferences and then volunteering opportunities. Again, we believe that the communication on all levels and in-person opportunities really can help us to build a strong homeschool relationship with you. So I would like to now turn the next portion of the program over to Natalia Perez to talk about food service.
Thank you, Marty. Hello, I'm Natalia Perez. I'm the interim food service director. So currently the state of Massachusetts is providing free breakfast and free lunch for the first breakfast and lunch. We do not know if that is going to continue for next year. We hope it will, but for payments, you can go to myschoolbucks.com, and to set up an account, you will need your student unique ID number, which will be provided in August. If school breakfast and lunch is not free next year, there are certain payments that still will be a la carte at a cost. So if your student is bringing lunch from home, but they want a milk and it is not with the reimbursable meal, that may be a cost, or if they are purchasing water. So if free and reduced, or if breakfast and lunch is free for next year, I still encourage you to apply for a free and reduced program if you feel you could benefit, because certain fee-based programs such as transportation can get reduced costs if you are in the free and reduced program. So we have a Milton food service website where we have our menus. So if you go to the next slide, I have a sample menu. So this is what a sample menu will look like. If you hover over the menu items, it'll come up with allergens and nutritionals. At the top right-hand corner, we have gluten-free choices, and it is on a cycle. So your student, if they are celiac, they can have those options on those days. I do encourage you to check the menu frequently, especially if you are an allergen parent, as the menu may be changing. Some days we may have to swap other meals just due to supply chain shortages. And if you are an allergen parent, I will meet you at the school that your student is at and do a kitchen tour. I'll introduce you to the kitchen manager and walk you through how we deal with allergens on a day-to-day basis. So I will now send it over to the Milton Community Schools Director, Martha Sandoval.
Thank you, Natalia. Good evening, everybody. My name is Martha Sandoval. I'm the director of the Milton Community Schools. And in our programs, we provide enrichment opportunities in out-of-school time for children in kindergarten up to 5th grade. All of our programs are entirely supported by tuition fees. One of our programs is the Early School Arrival Program, or known as ESAP. You will see that in community schools, we're huge fans of acronyms. So the ESAP program opens Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and it runs until school starts. That will be at 8:20 a.m. for the Colcott and Cunningham schools, and at 8:50 a.m. for the Glover and the Tucker schools. So during this time, children can choose from a variety of low-key activities such as board games, reading, and simple crafts and gym activities. The current ESAP annual tuition per child is $1,020. Additional siblings receive a 30% discounted rate. For your convenience, the tuition is divided into 10 monthly payments, with the first payment due at the time of the registration, which will open in mid-June. Our next program is the after-school enrichment program, known as ACE. This is also open Monday through Friday from school dismissal until 6 p.m., with the exception of early release days, which I will talk about in a second. And so if you want to learn about what a typical afternoon in ACE looks like. So at the end of the school day, kindergarten students attending the after-school program are picked up at their classrooms by our staff, followed by snack and recess time. Age group activities will start around 3:30 with the transition to a second activity at 4:30. These activities vary daily and might include outdoor and indoor play, homework and computer clubs, arts and crafts, STEM, gym and sports, as well as other seasonal activities. And then at 5:30, students are gathered together. They're ready to go home with different choices to unwind before they actually go home. You can pick up any time in between, not necessarily until 6 p.m. We understand it's a very long day for your little one, and we have students attending the before school programs at 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. is a long day, so you can pick up any time in between. The after-school tuition, our current annual tuition per child is $3,060. Same as the ESAP program, additional siblings receive a 30% discounted rate. Same tuition is also divided in 10 monthly payments. And we do have tuition assistance available for families who can demonstrate financial hardship. Another program that we have is the early release or half days, where we offer special programs on the half days for participants enrolled in our after school program. A separate registration is required, and this covers the early dismissal time until 5 p.m. So these are the only times that we do not close at 6 o'clock. It's only until 5 p.m. Due to professional development for our after school staff. Another program that we offer is the vacation camps. During this time, we offer one in December, one in February, and then another one in April vacation weeks from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. All the information is posted online, and we normally send it out a few weeks before via email. If your child need reasonable accommodations to access our programs, please do not hesitate to contact me directly, and I will be more than happy to meet with you and your child to discuss any information. We really highly recommend checking our parent handbook, which is has a very detailed information on our programs and how we work and what we do. It is currently available in our website. You can find it under the Milton Public Schools websites under departments, community schools. I know we're giving you tons of information. Please do not try to remember all of this. We will be sending an email in May with all the enrollment information that will start mid-June, and it will also be posted online. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us via email at mcs@miltonps.org. And again, that's MCS, it stands for Milton Community Schools, at miltonps.org. Thank you and have a great night. And now I'm turning it over to Dr. Glenn Pavlicek.
Well, thank you, Martha. And as Martha said, you've been inundated with a lot of information tonight. This presentation will be on our website, and with it will be all these contacts. Feel free to use any or all of them. Call us. You have questions. You'll think of more questions after tonight. So feel free to contact any one of us with any questions you have. We're looking forward to a long and great relationship with your kids. And we hope they'll enjoy their time in the Milton schools. I think at this point, we're going to open it up for questions if you want to. And so if you have questions and would like to put them in the chat, our moderator will pull them out and assign them to folks to answer, and we'll try to get as many questions answered as we possibly can. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. So I've kind of been looking through the chat and pulling out some of the questions that are the most asked here. So one question that a lot of people are asking are around their neighborhood school. And I think there's a few parts to that question that people have. One, they're wondering, how do they know which is their neighborhood school? Another question they have is about school choice, if they could choose to go to another school if not wanting to attend their neighborhood school. And then I think the third part is for those that have students in a preschool program, wanting to keep their student at that school, even though it may not be their neighborhood school. I'm not sure who wants to take that.
Well, I'll take the easy part. As to what your neighborhood school is, if you go to our website, miltonps.org, and on the front page, there's a registration link. And it pulls down, and one of the first questions is, what is my school? And there's a PDF file there where you could look up by your address and see what your quote unquote neighborhood school is. I know it's very confusing for people who are near Cunningham and Collycut because they're joined at the hip, and you wonder which of those might be your neighborhood school. But if you look at our form, it goes by street listing, in some cases by street number, depending how the street splits, as to which school we want to send your children to. We look at requests for other schools, but we really want to try to get your student in the school near you. If there's a particular reason for it, we'll consider it. As far as the question about coming out of preschool and wanting to stay in that particular school, again, we have to look at that on a case-by-case basis. We really, as I say, want to try to send you to your neighborhood school.
Thank you. There's been a few questions about kindergarten screening. So Sue, I'm not sure, but maybe you could give a little bit more info just about what kindergarten screening is and what that looks like.
Sure. Kindergarten screening will happen in May and June after you've been given your school assignment. You will register for a visit. The visit's about an hour long. You'll come into the school and you'll have an opportunity to meet the principal, assistant principal, some key staff members. Your child will participate in several stations. They're fun activities designed to take a sneak peek at their learning development, their language development, their motor development. And we're just kind of trying to get a little sneak peek into the kids coming to see us. It's also an opportunity for you to check in with the school nurse, and kids will have a hearing screening. It's a great time to talk with us if you have concerns about your child's development. If you are currently a preschool family receiving special ed support, you can come, and it's an opportunity to maybe meet staff in a different building than you've been in for preschool. Usually visits are about an hour. And like I said, we really have you do that a scheduled visit because we have lots of kids coming in. You'll get to meet all the other kids coming into your kindergarten classroom. And as Marty mentioned, you'll get your t-shirt welcoming you to kindergarten.
Thank you. There have also been some questions about the before school program and after school. A lot of families wondering how quickly those fill up, when they should sign up, and then if they are able to just send their student to either ACE or ESAP on a few days a week and not all days of the week. So Martha, if you don't mind just talking a little bit about those things.
No problem. So the information for enrollment is going to be sent out in May. We are expecting to open registration for next school year sometime mid-June. We will have an exact date for you sometime in May. Unfortunately, we cannot guarantee spots for all of the kindergartners and all students. I wish we could, but it is based on a first come first basis. I'm sorry, what was the other question? There was another question here.
I think
not deadline, it's as spots as they go. I do have to say that in this year and last year, our spots go pretty quickly. And I believe there was one more question in regards to summer camps. We offer summer camps. Your child for this upcoming summer, unfortunately, is not eligible, but they will become eligible once they complete 1 year of kindergarten.
I think one of the questions, and maybe you answered it already, but I think one was, can you send your child 2 or 3 days rather than the 5 days?
Oh, right. I'm sorry about that. Yes. So currently our tuition is to attend both programs Monday through Friday. About 95% of our families utilize the program Monday through Friday, but obviously we understand sometimes students might have a different activity outside and they might need to or not attend on certain days. We just ask that that schedule is consistent and it is a minimum of 3 days. Unfortunately, tuition cannot be prorated. Tuition is set for the 5 days a week. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you. There were a few logistical questions, people wondering about packing a water bottle, a snack, how long is lunch, class sizes. So I can answer some of those. Please do pack both a snack and a reusable water bottle for your kindergartner. They will have a snack time. We do ask that those snacks and lunches, we do have peanut-free tables in our cafeteria for many of the snacks. We ask those to be peanut free because of the classroom confinements and spacing. Class sizes are generally around 20 to 24 students. Again, we have a full-time instructional assistant in each of our classrooms, which is great. Someone asked a great question that I think many kindergarten parents feel about their students coming from either not a preschool program or a smaller preschool program and then coming into a kindergarten class with many more students in a bigger school, and how that transition can be for a child who may be anxious or nervous. And I hope that you know that each of us at the elementary schools, we have an amazing kindergarten staff who are used to that. Same with all of our administrative staffs at each of our buildings to support you and your child as they enter our buildings. Those first few days are hard for many, but we find that after a few days of them getting to know kind of the routines of the school and their classroom community, all of that goes away, but we will support you in that wholeheartedly. So please, as stressful as it can be, try not to worry. We will welcome them and everyone with open arms, and it gets better. A lot of you were asking about registration. And I don't know if Marty, you want to talk about this again, but some people have asked if they have already registered, if they will have to re-register again, or just update some things. But the answer, and Marty, you might want to speak again on this, is that yes, you will, as the system is changing. So please wait until that deadline of March 1st. Do not register earlier than that.
So I'm not sure if it's a present preschool family that asked that. So if you're a present Milton Public School, you have a student in our Milton Public School preschool, and they're moving up to kindergarten, you do not have to complete the registration again. As a matter of fact, we ask you not to. But you will need to show the proof of residency. Again, we do it at each kindergarten, 6th grade, 9th grade. And then you will also need to provide up-to-date medical. If you somehow signed your child up for kindergarten for next year on our system recently, but they're not attending our kindergarten, you will have to do it again after March 1st and before March 15th, using our new power school system.
Thank you.
And also someone requested they couldn't find the frequently asked questions section where it lists the homeschool. So I did put the link in the chat.
Thank you, Marty. A few have asked about the timeline again. This entire presentation will be on the Milton Public Schools website. So know that all of the timelines will be there for you to review again, and you can go back and look through all of that.
And I will also be sending it to you. And please don't hesitate. I've emailed you all if you've pre-registered. So don't hesitate to email me and just say, what were the dates of this and that? So.
Great. Thank you. Someone else asked about breakfast at each of the schools. Natalia, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about what breakfast looks like, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so again, this year breakfast is free. So it has been a great social time for the students to kind of get ready for the day and energize, fuel up for the day. Parents, I think, benefit from it because it's earlier drop off. It is just before school starts. I think I saw the question ask if they could bring their own lunch and eat. I think that is perfectly fine if the child is bringing their own breakfast to eat during that time. And did I answer all of that question? Yeah. But I think both the students and the parents have really enjoyed it. So I really hope breakfast and lunch are free next year.
And I just add a little onto that, Natalia, as a school leader and also a previous kindergarten parent. I think it's important that people know breakfast actually extends the day. So at Cunningham and Collycott, we start school at 8:05. However, we open the back doors for breakfast at 7:50. So this gives caregivers an opportunity to drop off your children early, avoid all the traffic, and get to work on time, but also allows the students a chance to sit and enjoy breakfast with friends, have some good conversation, and enter school in a very low stress type of way. It's a great way to get children into school transitioning early or on time. And again, it's just a very nice welcoming activity. So I would encourage all to partake in the breakfast program if you can. Again, it's extends the day at no cost, opening up 15 minutes early.
There were a few questions about parent volunteer opportunities and touring the classrooms. So again, just know as you start this partnership with your school when your kindergartner registers, there are lots of opportunities for parents to come and volunteer in our schools. Someone asked about getting involved in fundraising. Each school has a PTO where you can get involved and do some of that work too. We have a number of opportunities where parents can come in. A lot of our kindergarten staff do mystery readers. We have programs like Meet the Artist where parents come in reading about diversity. So there's a lot of opportunities for that. As far as touring the classroom, there will be opportunities, again, dependent on the homeschool that you are assigned to and the programs that are listed there and the time frame for that to happen, but you will get a chance to see the classroom as well. A few people asked about recess and kind of what that looks like for a kindergartner and gym. Again, we're really lucky because our instructional assistants, they go to recess with our kindergartners, which is a very important learning component of kindergarten time, is that social aspect. So they do a number of activities. There are absolutely organized sports that they will do, like you've listed here, floor hockey, basketball, all sorts of things that they can engage in and learn about those things. I don't know if there's really anything else. Oh, there have been a few questions about the French immersion program and English innovation pathway. People asking about lottery and things like that. So there will be a first grade information night coming in, I believe that's in March, maybe February. But that lottery system for our French immersion program, that is always dependent on the number of families that we have that want to enter into the French immersion program. So I would say, as you are starting your kindergarten path, look out for more information on that as it comes. But first grade choice is a big decision and something that you can learn more about either at the first grade information night or kind of as you get started at your homeschool. I don't know if anyone had anything they wanted to add to that, but.
Kirsten, I saw a couple of questions that I just want to address. Someone whose kiddo was in preschool last year, and yes, you would actually have to do the registration starting March 1st. The other question was about summer programs. So for incoming kindergartners, they can go to MSC, is that correct? I believe they can go in our preschool program for incoming kindergartners at the high school.
That is correct, Marty.
Okay.
I know that Ms. Lohan is working with central office administration and getting answers on that, but there are many programs for incoming kindergarten children, and that's open to children who attend Milton Public Schools as well as the private schools in town.
And Martha, kiddos have to have completed kindergarten to go to Camp Cunningham.
That is
I'm not
correct.
sure which camp they were referring to, but they have to have completed that, right?
That is correct. They have to complete a year of kindergarten. So next summer they will be eligible.
Thanks. There was one more question just about like medical needs and supplies for a student or medications. The great thing that also happens at kindergarten screening is that the nurse will be there on site, and that's a great time for you to connect with the nurse. And that will be dependent on kind of your child needs and the plan that you and that school building nurse come up with. So that will be a good time for families to connect then. And I think that covers the majority of the questions right now. There was a question about homework at the kindergarten level. And I think at our kindergarten classes, there's a big emphasis on reading in the kindergarten grade, and starting the year off, kind of just reminding families that that is really important, reading to your child, reading with your child. Sometimes as the year goes on, we do get students into that routine of kind of seeing what that routine of having homework looks like and giving them a taste of that kind of as the year goes on. But yeah, other than that, I think majority of the questions have been answered.
Thanks, Kirsten. As a reminder, this is the first of many activities welcoming you to kindergarten. This is a district information night. We are looking forward to meeting your child once assigned at their appropriate school, where you will have an opportunity to come and have your child screened. Your child would then be placed in a classroom. If any additional supports are needed based on screening, we'll work with you to help figure out what those might be. We will see you on playgrounds. We'll see you in classrooms. You will have many opportunities to connect with your individual school staff as soon as the time is right. Thank you for attending tonight, and thank you for the many thank yous in the chats. We have worked pretty thoroughly through the presentation to make sure that we were able to answer as many questions as we possibly can. We will send out this video and still images on the website for your resource. And again, please contact any one of us if you have any additional needs. Thank you all, and welcome to kindergarten. Have a great night.